This is the Pro-4X. It's the new top dog in the Nissan Navara ute lineup. It's marketed as a bush-ready machine, but is it really? Well, that's why we're going to drive it from here in Sydney to here, about 1,000 kilometres northwest of Sydney, on a city to red dirt adventure. Our test takes this ute over a variety of road and track surfaces, and to properly scrutinise the Pro-4X's long distance towing ability along the way, I'm hauling a 1.5 tonne Opus camper trailer on the trip. So how does this Pro-4X perform on-road, off-road and towing over long distances? Well, that's what we're here to find out, so stick around. For even more details on this vehicle, read my full yarn at the CarsGuide website. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, hit like, share it with your mates, and make sure you hit subscribe, tap that bell icon to stay up to date with all of our reviews. The Pro-4X is available in dual cab pickup style only, but you have a choice of a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 7-speed automatic transmission. Our Pro-4X has the Auto, and its manufacturer suggested retail price is $60,630 as standard, but it does have the $650 premium paint, and that's diamond white, and that brings its price as tested to $61,280. It has a 2.3 litre 4-cylinder twin-turbo diesel engine, a dual-range 4-wheel drive system with electronic 4-wheel drive selection, and a rear diff lock. Standard features include an 8-inch multimedia touchscreen, and that has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, dual zone climate control, AEB, a reversing camera, and also a surround view camera, which comes in pretty handy even during low range 4-wheel driving. The Pro-4X also has a Nissan genuine tow bar as standard. The entire Navara lineup has a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, and that's from testing in 2015. It also has horseshoe-shaped daytime running lights, quad headlights, LED taillights, a revised bumper with a rear step, and more. In terms of overall dimensions, the Pro-4X is 5,311mm long, and that's with a 3,150mm wheelbase. It is 1,875mm wide and 1,855mm high. But it's the styling that really sets the Pro-4X apart from the rest of the Navara lineup. It's got plenty of black trim and red accents all over the shop, and it's got all terrains to really add to that sporty look. In terms of the tray's dimensions, it is 1,509mm long, 1,560mm wide, 1,134mm between the wheel arches, and it is 519mm deep. And it's quite a versatile load space, and that's largely due to the Utilitrack load management system. Fancy word for movable tie-down points, but they do come in pretty handy, and as well as those you have the ones in the base of the tray and this durable tub liner, and we haven't had any issues so far. And even the tailgate has a bit of a lift assist feel to it. The cabin is more of a practical space than a plush one. It's kind of a mix between hard plastic and leather accents, but they get the balance about right. The multimedia system is easy enough to use. That screen is not the biggest in the ute mob at the moment. I had some problems with my Android Auto phone hooking that up, but we got that sorted out eventually. Elsewhere there are some nice touches. There are leather accents on the steering wheel and the shifter and on the seats with some Pro-4X branding. All in all, it's a pretty comfortable space. The rear seat is pretty standard for a dual cab ute. It's probably suited to 2 adults on the outboard or maybe 3 children across. I'm behind my driving position and I've got plenty of room, but I'm not exactly the tallest bloke around, or so my cameraman tells me. I'm more like a garden gnome. We've got this fold down cup holders here. We've got air vents there, directional, and you've got a USB port. There's not a lot else going on in the back, but it is a comfortable space. The Pro-4X is comfortable and reliable on all sorts of terrain, and that's important when you have to spend many hours on a multi-day long distance test like we have to. A few factors are at play here. Visibility is great. You've got a nice commanding driving position and you can see everywhere. The seats are very comfortable, I have to say. We have done big days in these utes, and the seats are one of the standout features. They really are quite supportive and comfortable. That 2.3 litre turbo diesel engine and the 7-speed automatic transmission work really well together. And again, they work really well together on all sorts of terrain and in all sorts of conditions. And they have really shown their mettle, their worth when towing this camper trailer. It's quite a cluey matching, and even with towing up and down long hills and through some really quite severely rutted terrain, it's managed really well. And instead of the traditional ute leaf spring suspension, you get coil springs in this, and that yields a nice, compliant, settled ride, and it's comfortable over most terrain surfaces, no matter how rough and chopped up they get. Steering in the Pro-4X adds a nice sporty feel. It's precise and well weighted, and it's got a nice feeling in the hand, and you feel like you're always in control, which is important when you're hitting pockets of red dirt and bull dust on rutted tracks. And the Pro-4X's driver assist tech, especially trailer sway control, comes in handy when you are towing a load, whether that's 1.5 tonne or a 3 tonne caravan. It really gives you that peace of mind that things are safe and controlled. If you do want to tackle any soft sand, mud, rocks or any low range four-wheel driving, it's easy to switch with the dial in front of the shifter. And when you're four-wheel driving, this ute has good low range gearing for rocky hill climbs, plenty of torque at low revs and reliable engine braking for any steep and tricky downhill runs. And the hill descent control is pretty effective too. Ground clearance is okay, but some of this ute's off-road angles are a bit shallow, and we never found mud holes deep enough to challenge its wading depth. But all in all, the Pro-4X does pretty well in the rough stuff. The 1.5 tonne Opus camper trailer that we're towing, it isn't a massive load, sure, but it is a good approximation of what a recreational tower might be taking around these days on a holiday, especially when now camper trailers and caravans are so in demand. Now, it may look like I'm getting shaken around a bit. This is a pretty serious track. There are some decent corrugations and a few severe potholes here and there, but the Pro-4X is doing a really good job of smoothing those out and settling everything down and making it a whole lot more comfortable than what it might be otherwise. And another point of difference to the rest of the Navara lineup is the fact that the Pro-4X has all-terrain tyres, and while they're not the gnarliest rubber available, they do a pretty good job here on rough stuff like this. Payload is listed as 1,004 kilograms, towing capacity is 750 kilograms unbraked and 3,500 kilograms braked. The Pro-4X has a claimed fuel consumption of 8.1 litres per 100 kilometres, and that's on a combined cycle, but for actual fuel consumption figures recorded on this trip of more than 2,000 kilometres, take a look on the screen now. The entire Navara range is covered by a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, 5-year 24-hour roadside assistance and cap price servicing. The Nissan Navara Pro-4X has certainly proven itself on this multi-day long distance test. And remember, we were towing a 1.5 tonne camper trailer the whole way. I reckon you could do a lot worse than have a Pro-4X on your shopping list for a new four-wheel drive ute. But what do you reckon? Have your say in the comments section below. But remember, go easy on the swear words.